Jana Vallabha Girivaradhare Gopijana Vallabha
srimadbhagavatam. Jai. All glories to the Son of Devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the Son of Devotees.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to the Son of Devotees. Canto 3, Status Quo, Chapter 33, Activities of Kapila, and we're on Text 5. Tvam deha tantra what has it? Okay. Tvam deha tantra pashamaya papmanam Nedesha bhajam cha vibhova bhutaye Yathavatharastava sukaradayas Tatayama yatma patopalabdeye Tvam deha tantra prashamaya papanam Nedesha bhajang vibho vibhutaye Yathavatharastava sukaradayas Tatayam apyatma patopalabdeye Tvam deha tantra pashamaya papmanam Nidesha bhajam cha vibho vibhutaye Yathavatharastava sukaradayas Tatayam apyatma patopalabdeye That's for Sam.
Tantra prashamaya papanam
Nidesha bhajam cho vibho vibhutaye
Nidesha bhajam cha vibho vibhutaye
Yathavatharastava sukaradayas
Yathavatharastava Tatayamapyatmasukaradayas
Tathayamapyatmapatopalabdaye
Tatayamapyatmapatopalabdaye Vamdeha Tantra Prashamaya Papanam Nidesha Vajam Chakako Vibhutaye Yathavatharastava-sukaradayas Tathayamapyatmapatopalabdaye Vamdeha Tantra Prashamaya Papanam Nidesha Vajam Chakako Vibhutaye Yathavatharastava-sukaradayas Tathayamapyatmapatopalabdaye Vamdeha Tantra Prashamaya Papanam Nidesha Vajam Chavibho Vibhutaye Yathavatharastava-sukaradayas Tathayamapyatmapatopalabdaye
Tvam, you, Deha, his body, Tantraha, have assumed, Prashamaya, for the diminution, Papmanam, of sinful activities, Nirdesha Bhajam, of instructions in devotion, Cha, and Vibho, O my Lord, Vibhutaye, for the expansion, Yata, as, Vataraha, incarnations, Tava, your, Sukara Adayaha, the boar and other forms, Tata, so, Ayam, this incarnation of Kapila, Api, surely, Atmapata, the path of self-realization, Upalabdaye, in order to reveal. Translation. My dear Lord, you have assumed this body in order to diminish the sinful activities of the fallen and to enrich their knowledge and devotion and liberation. Since these sinful people are dependent on your direction by your own will, you will assume incarnations as a boar and as other forms. Similarly, you have appeared in order to distribute transcendental knowledge to your dependents. Purport. In the previous verses, the general transcendental qualifications of the Supreme Personality of Godhead were described. Now the specific purpose of the Lord's appearance is also described. By his different energies, he bestows different kinds of bodies upon the living entities, who are conditioned by their propensity to lord it over material nature. But in the course of time, these living entities become so degraded that they need enlightenment. It is stated in Bhagavad Gita that whenever there are discrepancies in the discharge of the real purpose of this material existence, the Lord appears as an incarnation. The Lord's form as Kapila directs the fallen souls and enriches them with knowledge and devotion so that they may go back to Godhead. There are many incarnations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, like those of the boar, the fish, the tortoise, and the half-man, half-lion. Lord Kapila Dev is also one of the incarnations of Godhead. It is accepted herein that Lord Kapila Dev appeared on the surface of the earth to give transcendental knowledge to the misguided conditioned souls. Om Nigadatividandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshulamaditamena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Bakam Karidvachalam Pangam Langai Tegadim Kripatam Ham Vande Shri Gurunditanam Vancha Kapadibisha Kripasandibevacha Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gauda Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So just read the translation again. My dear Lord, you have assumed this body in order to diminish the sinful activities of the fallen and to enrich their knowledge and devotion and liberation. Since these sinful people are dependent on your direction, by your own will you assume incarnations as a boar and as other forms. Similarly, you have appeared in order to distribute transcendental knowledge to your dependents. So we say, we sing many songs every morning, and some have been doing that for a very long time, singing these songs, these Vaishnava songs, 10, 20, 30, 40, 45 years. I don't know if anybody's been singing them for 50 years. There's some devotees out there who've been singing them for 50 years. I guess, yeah, since 1966 or whatever. So, 68, yeah. So, and these songs they're transcendental songs, compiled by transcendental personalities, the Vaishnavas, the Vaishnavacharyas. And they have deep importance for all of us, and therefore Srila Prabhupada arranged them very nicely, the morning program. And you could say that, and many of them are quite advanced. I mean they're super advanced, not quite advanced. They're super advanced, like praying to Tulsi every morning. What are we praying for, right? Make me a maidservant, and let me enter into the groves of Vrindavan, and right, Radha and Krishna's pastimes there. It's quite advanced. It's really advanced. And you could say that because, as we know, right, there's sadhana bhakti, and then there's different bhava bhakti, prema bhakti, right, and there's different, you could say, stages which are more advanced than the other. Now, in many ways, the singing to Tulsi and what we're saying to Tulsi, I mean, that's yeah, you get the idea. It's quite something. And also, what we say every morning is, right, Vancha Kalpadubhishcha Kripa Sindhubevacha. We offer respectful obeisance to all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord who are just like desired trees, and who could feel the desires of everyone, and are full of compassion for the fallen conditioned souls. So, this compassion, because this verse is and purports mentioning compassion. So this compassion is like, if we analyze Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there's so many verses that are glorifying Krishna as compassionate, right? Hey Krishna, Karuna Sindhu, right? Ocean of mercy, and all these different things, right? Compassion. And when we hear about Vaishnavas, right, great Vaishnavas, Srila Prabhupada, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Haridas Thakur, all these great personalities, a lot of them, if not most of them, maybe a huge percentage of them, are glorified specifically for having the quality of compassion. All Vaishnavas are ocean of mercy, compassion. So one can measure their own advancement and the advancement of others based on how much compassion an individual has. That's a great, you could say, way to measure a Vaishnava. I mean, of course, we're not supposed to be, oh, hey, how advanced are you, or how advanced am I? But it does. My point is, it's a very important quality for a Vaishnava. And because what does advancement means? It means that advancement means that, or one aspect of advancement means that we are becoming more, you could say, like the representative of Krishna, right? And the representative of Krishna means they're representing Krishna, the person. So how Krishna would treat a person, that is how the spiritual master is meant to treat a person, with that compassion, with that kindness. So we're representing the person properly. So it is very obvious that one who has associated with Krishna a lot, and in a sincere way, they will develop those good qualities of Krishna, and they'll be able to represent Krishna properly. And therefore they are seen as advanced. Why? Because of that association from Krishna. They become advanced. And then the mercy flows like that. So if we're not having these qualities, then that means we haven't sufficiently associated with Krishna, right? Enough, and we should, because we're all supposed to be representatives of Krishna in relation to compassion. And the potential that every one of us have, every single person in this world to make advancement is actually extremely high, that potential. And within all of us as well, sitting in this room. But also our potential to degrade is extremely high. I mean, over years I've seen devotees who were like really powerful, actually. Super powerful devotees. And somehow or other, I don't know what happened, it's just like, they start hanging out with wrong people, weird people, and they start getting involved in drugs and just all types of, I don't want to go into details because it's just like, it's like absolute nightmare. And I'm just shocked. I'm like, wow, this person was just like, at one point just on fire, like in devotional service. And then you fast forward some years later and they're just like, it's like a nightmare actually. What they say, what they think, what they do, what they post on their social media, it's just like scary actually. And I'm not just talking about, like what's talking about here, fallen, sinful stuff. So, and that potential is within all of us, potential to degrade and then the potential to go up, So we want to, as far as possible, try to cash out, or whatever you want to say, on our potential to elevate ourselves and work as hard as possible to do that, and not fall. So we could do this by specifically by associating with the Vaishnavas. That's extremely important. And that is actually how our faith develops, right? Rupa Goswami, he says, Adao Shraddha Tata Sadhu Sangha, right? Bhajana Kriya Anartha Nivritti Syat, and goes on and on and on. And he says that, we first come and we have that preliminary faith, right? And we develop that by Sadhu Sangha, by associating with devotees. And we engage in the process, hearing and chanting about Krishna. Then those cherished anarthas that we have, that we like to hold on to sometimes, they get purified, they get cleansed, and then one develops Nishta, ruchi, and attachment, and then bhava, and then prema, love for Krishna, right? And it's that going up, elevating. So it's a very, you could say, systematic process. And but a lot of it is depending on the association of devotees, because if we really analyze the processes of devotional service, right, hearing the Bhagavatam, chanting the holy name, associating with Vaishnavas, residing in a holy place, these are all transcendental, but they really come to life when they're done in association with devotees. That's when they really come to life, these processes. Just like there's so many non-devotees who, or not so many, but there's many non-devotees who may engage in kirtan, or they may read the Bhagavatam, right? We got the bhagawatsaptaha right there in India, 7 days Bhagavatam, right? Discourse. But the guy may not be a devotee, he just, he has some knowledge and he just... Or so many rascals and fools, right? They live in holy places. Prabhupada would give the famous... or Prabhupada would give the example that these Babajis sometimes, or these holy men, they're lusty, and then they go to holy places, right? And they pose as holy men, as Babajis and chanting and all these things. And then what happens is, how does it go? That there's women who they want to have, because they feel that, hey, if I have a child, if I have a baby from a holy man, it's good, He's got good consciousness, and I have a baby with him, and it's nice. So then they go there, and to these holy places, and they seek out these men, and then they engage in those activities, and then the baby's produced. So in other words, it's cheater and the cheated. The woman, she wants to have a holy man, but holy man give her a kid, but when they're not really actually holy men, they're just lusty guys, like that. So, I don't exactly know how I went off on that. Remember how I went off on that? Yeah, so there's many materialistic people living in holy places. And what value is their association? Not much. Similarly, what value is association of materialistic bhagawatsaptaha person? Not much. Actually, there's a verse, right? Vaishnava nam, it's actually poisonous, the association. And so on and so on. But all these processes really come to life when they're performed in the association of advanced Vaishnavas, devotees. And people actually feel something, actually get a result, a good result. And that's why Prabhupada was so successful. I mean, what did he do? He just went around, traveled around, and he talked about Krishna, and he led kirtan, and then people, started crying and wanting to surrender to Krishna. And that's all he did. Why? Because he was a Vaishnava. He's a powerful Vaishnava. So they come to life by the association of Vaishnavas. Just like soon we have this, which none of us will go. Santosh will go. Santosh Prabhu, or Santosh Brahmachari, he'll go to Sadhu Sangha retreat, North Carolina. He's flying out there. So why do so many devotees want to go there? Because there's advanced Vaishnavas there. They're going to be leading kirtan and singing, and and people feel something from that. So what it means. What I'm trying to get at here is that what it means to be a follower of Krishna, to be Vaishnav, to be a follower of Prabhupada, means to develop this taste, to develop this attraction to Krishna, and to develop this compassion. And then when we meet people, people will actually feel that, and their hearts will be changed. And that's the whole point. We want to change people. We want to change ourselves. We want to change people, their heart, right? And that's Krishna's business. I mean, he takes all this trouble to come to this material world and to speak the Bhagavad Gita and do so many things, send his representatives. And what is his simple thing? What is the thing he's trying to do? He's trying to bring them back to Krishna consciousness, bring them back to the spiritual world, the misguided, conditioned souls. So yes, all of us, all devotees practically who weren't brought up in Krishna consciousness, we're all coming from, practically everybody in Kali Yuga is coming from a very fallen background. Eating meat, that's like, it's demoniac actually. It's sinful, it's demoniac, there's heavy consequences. You know the consequences? Say? Yeah, that's what it says in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Every hair on the body, you go to hell for like thousands of years, something like that. So it's very, such heavy consequences. And aside from that, it's just, out and out wrong. And so many things, people grow up doing that are just out and out wrong. So really, when there's all this talk about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu delivering the most fallen, all these things, it's actually true. It's actually true. That he's taking people from just backgrounds of materialistic, demoniac, selfish, self-centered, atheistic backgrounds and turning them into Vaishnavas. So that's also our business to assist people in becoming Vaishnavas, to assist Krishna in helping people. And we're coming from this background to Krishna consciousness, and we're becoming purified, and hopefully, right, we're becoming Vaishnavas. And again, we're supposed to assist others and also becoming Vaishnavas. But also we have to keep in consideration that it's a lifelong process we're engaging in. It's not just, for a few months, a few years. It's a lifelong process, purifying process. And when it comes down to it, most people, right, they want to be, practically everybody, they want to be happy. They want to be satisfied. Now when we come to Krishna consciousness, we are satisfied, happy. That's my experience. I see a lot of people, they come and they're very enthusiastic and happy and joyful and jumping up and, running back and forth and jumping up and hitting the walls and everything in kirtan. But there's also this idea we want to stay happy, right? It's not that, okay, in the beginning we're happy, we want to stay happy. So therefore there's all these seminars in every field of life, right? And for example, people get married and it's like, okay, you're happy in the beginning, right? Yeah, of course. Everybody's happy in the beginning of marriage. What do you call it? The honeymoon and all this, right? But how to have a successful, happy marriage for a long period, and therefore all seminars and stuff. So similarly within Krishna consciousness, it's actually quite similar that, yes, in the beginning, everybody's happy. But over time, we want to stay happy. Because if we're not happy, we'll be looking for other places for our happiness, right? Other avenues. So the question is, okay, how do we stay happy? So what do you think, Dravida Prabhu? How do we stay happy?
How do you stay happy?
Yeah. Chant shlokas. I knew you were going to say that. Chant shlokas. Yes. You going to say something, Zach? Natural propensity, yeah. What if I feel my natural... What if you feel what if somebody feels their natural propensity is just to be really mundane and engage in all types of materialistic activities? They want to be good at that. Some people feel that. They feel this is my natural inclination. I like to go to the casino. I like Krishna, but I also like to go to the casino. Have a good time. Oh, favorable. Okay, favorable. Okay. Well, that takes some time to find out, right? Usually. So Dravida Prabhu is saying chanting shlokas. Beginning with the Hare Krishna shloka. Okay. So why do you say that?
Why do I say that?
Yeah. Or maybe you could explain how that works, Or at least within your experience.
Well, because, these verses, of course, there are so many slokas in the Bhagavatam, and I'm specifically thinking about the slokas directly describing form, quality, and things like that. And just as we've all experienced it, we're sitting there and chanting like Krishna, and it's not an ordinary sound, and we learn from Shastra and the Guru that it's not just Krishna, that it's actually
Yeah, so that's the that's actually what devotees like doing. They like hearing and chanting about Krishna. They like thinking about Krishna, bowing down to Krishna, thinking of Krishna, worshiping Krishna, reading about Krishna, chanting shlokas. And as Javita Prabhu was explaining, that's what we all experience. That's what people who engage in the process experience. That it's joyful, it's wonderful, it's pleasing. Whereas other things in this world, right, they may be joyful, or not really joyful. They may be enjoyable. They may be pleasing to the mind and senses and all these different things. But over time, it's just a source of disturbance, actually. It means mental disturbance, mostly mental disturbance. And therefore in America, right, it's the number one, as far as statistics are concerned, it's the number one anxiety capital. It's the capital of anxiety for the whole entire world, America. Right? So much enjoyment here in America, material enjoyment, but what has it all produced? So Krishna consciousness is the opposite. It produces simply enjoyment over time. And so we should at least have some preliminary faith in that. We may not have full conviction in that, but at least we should have some preliminary faith in that and try it out, engage in it. And then someone may say, hey, well, this seems quite basic, what Balaram's saying. Yeah, it is basic, but again, we have to, it's like every day is a new day, right? So we have to, because we have atheistic tendencies, we have to say, all right, well, today's a new day, now it's time to try out Krishna consciousness again, right? Let's give it a try again. I mean, it kind of worked yesterday, but I kind of forgot how it worked maybe, because Kali Yuga means forgetfulness too. But let me just try it out again. In other words, let me surrender again to this idea. And then over time, it will just be like natural to us, right? We'll naturally, our minds will naturally go to Krishna. And this is what, and Krishna is extremely merciful. There's this wonderful verse from the Padyavali. So there's different sections of this book, and one it says the glories of devotional service. And I just thought this verse was really sweet, and I'm going to learn it. And hopefully Javita Prabhu helps me learn it, because I don't know the meter and all that. But I'll read the English, and it says, this is written by Sri Dakshinatya, Natya, which probably we don't know, but anyways, a great Vaishnava. Rupa Goswami thought him qualified to be in his book. So it says, and I have some questions about this verse too, maybe some devotees could help. But it says, where were the hunter dharma's piety? So some of these we'll all be familiar with, but some maybe not. Dhruva's maturity and Gajendra's knowledge. Where was Kubja's beauty? Where was Sudama's wealth? Where was Vidura's noble birth? Where was Ugrasena's chivalrous strength? Lord Madhava is pleased only by devotional service and not by material qualification. So this is actually supposed to be inspiring to us because, for example, Dhruva's maturity. I mean, he was just an arrogant, proud boy who wanted a kingdom greater than his grandfather, and that's why he was worshipping God. That's why he was worshipping Vishnu Krishna, for material reasons. But still, he got mercy over time, eventually. And where was Gajendra's knowledge? He's an elephant. I mean, or Kubja's beauty, right? Kubja was described as a hunchback, not very attractive woman, but Krishna. Where was Sudama's wealth, right? Poor Brahman. Where was Vidura's noble birth? Where was Ugrasena's chivalrous strength? So what I'm curious about is, when it's referring, I don't know if anybody knows, but where were the hunter's dharma's piety? Who is this hunter dharma? Mm-hmm.
It seems like the names of most of the people in the Bhagavatam are a description of their character.
Yeah, so he could have, you have one name, you have several names. Sometimes you find that.
Yeah, that's true. A lot of personalities have many names.
I was wondering that it seems like they didn't actually call themselves. No, that's what you say just gave later.
Probably.
So they probably have like a different name.
Yeah. Yeah, like for example, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Chaitanya Leela, right? It says that he was named Nimai because he was born in the neem tree, and he was named Gaurahari because, right, gold, and then there was another one, yeah, Vishrambar, so there's so many different names.
All the demons like Bacchus or bird demon or like all the bird demon, Shankar, Shiva, shell demon, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm sure they didn't call out, hey, my name is shell demon. Bird demon.
Yeah. So you're thinking it's that Murgari, huh? Okay. And then I was wondering where it says, where was Ugrasena's chivalrous strength? So what was it referring to there? Like, about Ugrasena?
Because Ugrasena, he was conquered by his son.
Who, Kamsa?
Yeah, Kamsa, he was put under subjugation by his son, so he's obviously not at least as strong as Kamsa. We
Yeah.
can say that.
But he got his blessing from Krishna. He told him to put him on the throne and found him.
Yeah.
In other words, the point of the realm is devotion.
Yeah.
So any platform is
Not material qualifications. I mean, just like you have the 16,000 queens, right? So they were captured by a king and put into the king's basement. And dungeon, yeah, sorry, dungeon. They're put into the dungeon. And what happened? Krishna came, and he killed the king, right? Killed the king, and then he got all the queens. Now we could think about the amazing quality of traditional ancient Vedic cultures that since those queens were captured by the king, they were 8. They were completely disqualified in the eyes of any single man from being married. Even if the man and all the queen, there was no, sexual activity or whatever, or relations, still, just because of that being touched even, or just, like that, they were completely disqualified. Nowadays it's a different thing, it's another thing. But the point is, what happened then? Krishna married all of them. Why? Not because of their material qualification, because they were completely disqualified from that point of view. But he married them because of their devotional qualification. So we could see that devotional qualification ultimately outweighs and is more important than the material qualification. So we should go for that devotional. So anyways, Krishna is an ocean of mercy. We should try to attach ourselves to him and also be merciful as far as possible to people and ourselves. Does anyone have any questions or comments? Oh, really? Oh, wow. When did they put it in there?
years ago.
Okay. Yeah, it's an anthology of devotional poetry, so it's Rupa Goswami's.
It's actually his necklace.
Yeah.
And I think it was put into categories by Jiva Goswami.
Do you have something, Zach?
Oh, I just had a slight thought that there are some examples of devotees who can calculate their material qualifications into spiritual life. Like, for example, Amarish Prabhu, very rich. Well, his family lineage doesn't do very well.
That's true.
So you calculate that in Krishna.
Thank God. Thank Krishna.
Usually you find that people get very puffed up by the material qualifications and they can't calculate.
That's true.
There's good examples of devotees.
Yeah, Ambarish Prabhu, it's amazing. I mean, like, of course, he inherited all that money. I mean, can you imagine being born in the Ford family? I mean, that's a lot of money, like, still Fords are all over the street, all over the country. So that's a lot of money. But yeah, somehow or other, he became a devotee. You know what Prabhupada said when he first met? I'll tell you what he said, because maybe you know, but maybe some don't know, but I'll tell you what he said. He said, so devotees, they introduced Alfred Ford, Ambarish Prabhu, as a bhakta to Prabhupada. So they said, "Oh, Prabhupada, this is Alfred Ford, and he's the great-grandson or grandson of Henry Ford, the creator of the Ford trucks and everything." And then Prabhupada's first words to Ambarish he said, "Oh, okay." He said, So where is your grandfather now?" That was his first words. It was kind of like a punch. But yeah, Ambarish, it's quite amazing. Yeah, he's donating so much, or he has donated so much for the Prabhupada Samadhi in Mayapur, and also for now the new temple, Vedic Planetarium, which is coming up relatively fast. And he's quite humble. I mean, I was there in Mayapur, and I don't know him. He doesn't know me, but I saw him there a few times, and he was, for whatever reason, he was smiling, gesturing that Hare Krishna. He did that a few times. So he was very kind, nice person. So, does anyone have any other question or comments? Okay. Grantaraj srimadbhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
all together, everyone. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare